Now, let's take a look at a quiz. So, in this quiz, you are supposed to set up a Bluetooth communication system that will allow you to control a fan in the room based on the threshold value that you set in the temperature, right? So, let's see how it works. The first step that you need to do is users should be able to request the information of the temperature or the humidity based on the text that they can send from the mobile device to the ESP32, and then the ESP32 will reply back with the information of the temperature or the humidity or both. So T, uppercase T or lowercase t, will actually send the information of the temperature from the ESP32 to the mobile device. Uppercase H or lowercase h will send the information of the humidity to the mobile device, and uppercase B or lowercase b will send the information of both. Now, once the user knows the information of the temperature in the room, the user can also set the threshold temperature. So S65, uppercase S 65 will set the threshold value to 65 Fahrenheit. Uppercase S 75 will set the threshold value to 75 degrees Fahrenheit, and uppercase S 85 will set the threshold value to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. So now, once the threshold value is set, based on this threshold value, if the current temperature is greater than the threshold temperature, then that will turn on the light, else the light will be off, right? So now light here represents a fan. So now in this project, you are supposed to set up a Bluetooth system that will have interaction with the user's mobile device, and based on this information that user sends from the mobile device, Bluetooth will reply back with the temperature information or humidity or both, and user can set the threshold temperature, and based on that threshold temperature information that user sets, light in the room will respond, right? So light is also representing a fan here. All right, so let's pause the video here and write the code for this quiz. All right, so this is the code here. The first couple of line includes the Bluetooth header file. So this is actually the header file that is needed for the temperature and the humidity sensor, DST sensor. So this line here is needed for the Bluetooth. Again, this line here is needed for the temperature and the humidity sensor. So this line here indicates the function of the Bluetooth. So pin number 2 is set an output pin to connect LED or fan. So here we are setting up the serial communication. In this line here, we're actually changing the Bluetooth name to My Room Control. So when you try to connect in your mobile device, you should see the name My Room Control. And then we start the Bluetooth connection, right? So first thing here, what we are doing is that we are sending the information to the computer saying we are reading DHT11 sensor, and all these values are something that we discussed in our sensor lab, is used for the temperature and the humidity information. So this is a new variable here that we use to set up the threshold value, right? So this will hold the uh, threshold value, and which is initially 75 degrees Fahrenheit, right? This line here is trying to read the information from the DST sensor, which is connected at pin 11, and store that information in temperature variable, humidity variable. So this line here is converting the Celsius value to Fahrenheit value, and once the reading is done, this information here is actually sent in the computer terminal for the display purpose. Now, here starts the Bluetooth function. So please enter the command to the Bluetooth device that is connected, requesting for the command. So command in this case could be uppercase T, lowercase t, right? Uppercase H, lowercase h, uppercase B, lowercase b, and the threshold setting S65, S85, and S75, right? So this line here will check if the Bluetooth device is disconnected. This line here will check if the device is connected. Now, if the received value is uppercase T, or if the received text is lowercase t, then we will send number, right? So we are going to send the number, which is temperature underscore f, right? We are going to send the temperature underscore f, which is actually holding the value of temperature, right? So if you notice, we are using received underscore text, right? We are not using received underscore number. So here we are checking if the received text is uppercase H or lowercase h. If that is the case, then we are sending number. We are not using send text. We are using send number to send the humidity value, right? And then we are checking for B, sending the both humidity and temperature. Now, if the received text from the user side is S85, then we are setting the threshold value to 85, right? S75 will set the threshold value to 75, and 65 will set the value to 65, right? Now, what happens next is controlling the fan or LED here, right? So if the current temperature is greater than the threshold value, which is actually set by the user, then we are going to turn on the light, right, which also simulates the fan. Else we are turning off the fan or the light, right? And then we'll wait for 1 second and again repeat the task. So now let's look at the connection diagram here. This is a sensor DST11, and which is connected to pin number 15 here, right? So this is LED, which represents a fan. So this is connected to pin number 2 here, and all the wirings are VCC and the ground. So now let's transfer this code and see the operation. So you can see after the code is successfully transferred to the Arduino, there is a continuous stream of sensors information in the terminal here, right? So now let's open the mobile device here and open the Bluefruit Connect app to connect to the ESP32's Bluetooth, right? So let's open the app. You can see the Bluetooth name now, My Room Control, right? So you can connect this. It says connecting, and then you can see this window here. Now let's go to UART here. So you can see I'm continuously receiving the information. Please enter the command, right? So let's enter the command T's saying I want to get the temperature sensors information. So when you send this, you can now see 75.20, which is also the information right now here. It went to 77, 77 came here right now, right? So let's send the information saying I want both B, right? So if you send this, then you can see the information of humidity 19 and temperature 75, right? So you can see the information of both humidity and this temperature sensor. So remember, this is a mobile device, and this is a computer information, and actually there is a hardware here which is doing all the task, right? Now let's set the threshold temperature to 65, right? So which is uppercase S and then 65. So once I send this information, then the threshold temperature in this device is 65, right? So now the current temperature is 75, which is 10 degrees Fahrenheit more, right? So which means definitely this condition is true, right? So 75 is greater than threshold, which is 65. So that is why the light is on right now. So let's set that temperature to 85, right? So S 85, right? So when I send this information, then immediately you can see the fan is off or the LED is off, right? So which means current temperature, which is 75, right? Around 75. So this 75 is definitely not greater than 85, which means this condition is false. And that is where we go to else condition and the light is off, right? So this is the complete code for this quiz.